The year is 1590. Imagine a place untouched by the modern world, a place of vast forests and mysterious shores. This is Roanoke Island, off the coast of what we now call North Carolina. A group of brave souls, over 100 men, women and children, had vanished. They left behind a single chilling clue, the word Croatoan carved into a post. What happened to the colonists of Roanoke? It's a question that has haunted historians and explorers for centuries. Their fate remains one of the most baffling mysteries in history. Did they fall victim to disease, starvation, or conflict? Or did something even stranger occur on that remote island? The answers, it seems, are lost to time. The story of the lost colony began decades earlier, fueled by the ambition of Sir Walter Raleigh. His vision was not just a fleeting dream, but a grand plan that would span years and involve countless individuals. Raleigh, a favorite of Queen Elizabeth I, dreamed of establishing a permanent English settlement in the New World. His close relationship with the Queen provided him with the influence and resources needed to pursue such an ambitious endeavor. He envisioned a base for trade, exploration, and a challenge to Spanish dominance in the Americas. This new settlement would serve as a strategic outpost, opening up opportunities for wealth and expansion. The Queen granted him a charter to explore and colonize this new land. This charter was not just a piece of paper, it was a symbol of royal support and a green light for Raleigh's grand plans. Raleigh never set foot on Roanoke Island himself, but he financed expeditions to explore and settle the land. His role was that of a visionary and financier, orchestrating the efforts from afar. The first group, led by Arthur Barlow, landed on Roanoke Island in 1584. Their mission was to scout the area, establish relations with the natives, and assess the land's potential for settlement. They returned to England with glowing reports of fertile land and friendly natives. These reports fueled further interest and investment in the venture, painting a picture of a promising new world ripe for colonization. Raleigh named the land Virginia in honor of Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen. This name was a tribute to her and a symbol of the new beginning that this land represented for England. The first attempt at settlement proved short-lived. The dream of establishing a new life in the New World was fraught with challenges from the very beginning. In 1585, a group of 108 men, led by Ralph Lane, arrived with high hopes and great expectations. They envisioned a prosperous colony that would bring wealth and glory to England. However, the reality they faced was far harsher. The settlers struggled against the unforgiving weather, which brought storms and extreme temperatures. Supplies quickly dwindled, and the colonists found themselves rationing food and other essentials. Initially, the relationship between the English settlers and the native Algonquin tribes was one of mutual curiosity and cautious trade. The natives were intrigued by the newcomers and their strange ways, while the settlers were eager to learn from the indigenous people. But as time went on, cultural misunderstandings began to surface. The colonists' increasing demands for food and resources led to tension and conflict. The Algonquin tribes, who had their own ways of life and survival, found the settlers' expectations unreasonable and intrusive. By 1586, the situation had become dire. The colonists, desperate and disillusioned, saw no other option but to abandon their settlement. When Sir Francis Drake arrived on a return voyage from the Caribbean, he found a group of weary and disheartened men. Drake's arrival was a lifeline for the struggling settlers. Faced with the prospect of another harsh winter on Roanoke, they chose to return to England. The relief was palpable as they boarded Drake's ship, leaving behind their dreams of a new beginning. Though the first attempt had failed, the dream of an English colony in the New World persisted. The lessons learned from these difficult early years would shape future endeavors, as the settlers remained determined to establish a lasting presence across the Atlantic. Undeterred by the challenges faced by the first group, John White led a second expedition to Roanoke in 1587. This journey was fraught with hope and determination, as the colonists sought to establish a new life in the New World, despite the unknown dangers that lay ahead. This time, the colonists included women and children, signaling their intention to establish a permanent settlement. The presence of families indicated a long-term commitment to building a thriving community, one that could endure and grow over time. Among them was White's own daughter, Eleanor Dare, a symbol of hope and continuity for the settlers, and her newborn daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the New World. Her birth was a momentous event, representing the potential for new beginnings and the promise of future generations. The colonists rebuilt the abandoned settlement with renewed vigor, determined to create a safe and prosperous home. They worked tirelessly, constructing homes and fortifications to protect against the elements and potential threats, and attempted to establish a more sustainable way of life. They planted crops, tended to gardens, and worked together to ensure that their community could thrive independently. However, they soon faced the same harsh realities as their predecessors: dwindling supplies, the threat of disease, and the unforgiving environment. The struggle to find enough food and resources became a daily challenge, testing their resilience and resolve, and the ever-present tension with the native tribes. Relations with the indigenous people were strained as misunderstandings and conflicts arose, adding to the colonists' difficulties. John White, appointed governor of the colony, made the difficult decision to return to England for supplies and reinforcements. He knew that without additional support, the colony's chances of survival were slim. He left behind 115 colonists, including his daughter and granddaughter. As he departed, the colonists watched with a mix of hope and trepidation, uncertain of what the future held. They placed their trust in White's promise to return with the necessary aid to secure their survival and prosperity. White's return to England was delayed by the Anglo-Spanish War. When he finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, he was met with an unsettling silence. The settlement was deserted, the houses were dismantled, and there was no sign of a struggle or a hasty departure. The only clue to the colonists' fate was the word Croatoan, carved into a post of the fence surrounding the village, and the letters CRO etched into a nearby tree. The colonists were gone, vanished without a trace. What had become of them? Had they moved, been captured, or met a more sinister fate? The mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke had begun. The word Croatoan offered a tantalizing clue. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and the name of a Native American tribe that lived there. It was also the name of a friendly Native American who had lived among the colonists. Had the colonists sought refuge with the Croatoan tribe, or was the message a sign of something more ominous? John White desperately wanted to search for the colonists, but a hurricane forced him to return to England. He was never able to mount another expedition and died a few years later, the fate of his daughter, granddaughter, and the other colonists forever unknown. Over the centuries, numerous theories have emerged to explain the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists. One of the most enduring theories is that the colonists integrated with the Croatoan tribe. This theory suggests that, facing hardship and danger, the colonists sought the protection and support of the friendly tribe. They may have intermarried with the Croatoan people and gradually assimilated into their culture. This theory is supported by reports from later expeditions that encountered Native Americans with European features and who spoke English. However, no definitive evidence has ever been found to confirm that the colonists were absorbed into the Croatoan tribe. Another theory suggests that the colonists met with a less peaceful end. Relations with other Native American tribes in the area, particularly the Powhatan Confederacy, had been strained. It's possible that the colonists were attacked and either killed or captured by a hostile tribe. This theory was fueled by stories from neighboring tribes and the discovery of European objects in Native American settlements. However, there is no concrete archaeological evidence to support the theory of a large-scale attack on the Roanoke colony. Despite centuries of searching, no definitive trace of the lost colony has ever been found. Archaeological digs on Roanoke Island and nearby Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island, have uncovered tantalizing clues but no conclusive answers. Artifacts such as pottery shards, tools, and weapons dating back to the colonial period have been unearthed. Still, none conclusively prove the colonists' fate. Some researchers believe that the colonists may have moved inland, seeking better farmland or attempting to escape the hardships of the coast. Others believe that disease, starvation, or a combination of factors may have wiped out the colonists, leaving no trace behind. Despite the best efforts of archaeologists and historians, the mystery of the lost colony endures. The disappearance of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the most enduring mysteries in history. It serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life in the New World and the enduring power of the unknown. The story of the lost colony continues to capture imaginations, inspiring countless books, films, and television shows. It is a story of adventure, ambition, tragedy, and mystery. It is a story that asks us to confront the unknown and grapple with the possibility that some questions may never have answers. We may never know the true fate of the lost colony of Roanoke. Did they find refuge with the Croatoan tribe? Did they succumb to disease or conflict? Or did something else entirely befall them? The answer, lost to time, continues to intrigue and inspire. The lost colony stands as a stark reminder of the mysteries that still linger in the shadows of history. What do you think happened to the colonists of Roanoke? The mystery remains unsolved, waiting for someone to connect the dots and uncover the truth.